Hello there, it's me. And I've been sent something special from Reddit user Lady Angela13. I almost said Angelica, but that is not how that's spelled, and I can read. So this is from the Am I the A-hole subreddit. We're in the first 30 seconds or whatever. I don't know if this is going to get banned because I said a naughty word. Eat me, YouTube. Anyway, this is our post from there. So I'm just gonna read it. Am I the a-hole for eating sexy potatoes? I have about 1,000 questions for that one question, and I'm sure none of them are going to be answered, so let's just read this. Now, Lady Angela, who sent this to us, it's not the OP. This is from somewhere else. I just want to clarify that real quick. It honestly feels ridiculous that I have to post this, but my coworker has been getting on to me about this for weeks now, so I have to ask. My whole life, I've been eating potatoes by microwaving them, then biting into them, eating them hot dog style. I'm trying to imagine this, and it's really funny. This is the easiest, most convenient, and intuitive way for me to eat potatoes. Sweet potatoes or regular. I think this is how people in Japan eat them, or at least this is how I was taught by my Japanese parents to eat them. Whenever I go to a grocery store, I always pick out the most easily biteable potatoes. Here's a phrase I need on a t-shirt. Which are generally longer and thinner than most potatoes. Oh my. So I work in an office of about 30 people. We all typically bring our own lunch, and I usually just eat at my desk while doing work. No one has ever commented about how I eat potatoes, but I do eat them quite frequently. Recently, a new person was hired, and she clearly has a problem with the way I eat potatoes. A couple of times she'd pull me aside and ask me that I just eat potatoes in a more normal way. I asked her what she meant, and she said I was eating potatoes too suggestively. I suddenly understand the sexy potatoes. What the fuck? I was a little shocked, because I literally just have my eyes glued to my screen whenever I'm eating, and barely pay attention to how I eat. I told her no one else seemed to have a problem with the way I eat potatoes. But she insisted others were just too polite to say anything. I asked a few other coworkers, who were all just as confused as I was about what she was saying. I figured no one else really had a problem with it, but this happened multiple times. She kept coming to me and asking me to tone down the way I eat, even accusing me of going out of my way to choose sexy potatoes. And then there's just like 5 question marks. Oh my god. Is this gonna be like when somebody buttered the cat? Is this the level we're at now? I've considered bringing them other ways, but this is just the easiest way for me to eat them. And they're honestly delicious like this to me. I asked her maybe just not watch me eat, but apparently that's just not feasible. Unfortunately, she reported me, and now I have a meeting with HR next week. This seems really dumb to me, but am I the asshole for eating sexy potatoes? There are updates. Edit. Thank you for the gold, and thank you to everyone who gave me tips on how to approach HR. I will update after the meeting. Edit 2. Please stop asking me for videos of me eating potatoes. It's creepy and weird, and also would be extremely boring and the least sexy thing you'll ever watch. I cannot believe there are people who read this and they were just like, I gotta see them potatoes. Oh my gosh. Edit 3. Because I've gotten a ton of comments asking how to microwave a potato, scrub potato thoroughly with sponge, remove it of dirt, stab potato with a fork or knife all over, put it in the microwave for about 5 minutes, more or less, depending on the size of the potato and the power of the microwave. Flip it, do the same thing. To tell if it's done, poke through the center with a knife or fork. You generally tell how soft it is by stabbing through it. The texture will be relatively intuitive. Make sure you let the potato cool for at least 10 minutes, potentially longer, or it'll be too hot to eat. When you're ready to consume, I usually hold it wrapped around a napkin. I think they mean wrapped with a napkin because that just makes it sound like the potato is wrapped around the napkin itself and there's just a napkin inside of it. I'm sacrilegious, so I eat the skin, but you don't have to. I've never heard anyone say like that before. I'll sometimes add butter. I think they mean 2 regular potatoes. But normally I just sprinkle some salt, and sweet potatoes, I just eat it as is. Either way, you'll probably need to drink water or some liquid with it. Update. So I had a couple of meetings with HR. First one was on my own yesterday morning, alone with the HR woman. According to her, a coworker had reported me for, quote, sexual harassment, and, quote, creating a hostile work environment. Not gonna lie, after hearing those accusations, I was honestly kinda scared. Sexual harassment is a really serious charge. I was allegedly making lewd gestures while eating despite repeatedly being asked to stop. Of all the things I can imagine someone going down on, a fucking potato isn't one of them. Oh my god. I told her exactly what happened. I was eating potatoes the same way I always had in the 4 years I worked in this office. No one else had ever had a problem with this until now. The new coworker, let's call her Karen, approached me, telling me I was eating potatoes inappropriately and told me to eat them another way. I explained to her that this is how I grew up eating them, and I would not stop. I like to imagine it was like defiant. I like to imagine that she was just like, "You're eating potatoes too suggestively," and OP was like, "No. No, I will not stop. I will enjoy my potatoes in the way I want to enjoy them, and god damn you for trying to stop me." That's just my headcanon. If it bothered her, she could, and should, look away. I continued eating potatoes this way. Then over the next several weeks, she kept complaining about my potatoes every time I ate them this way. Before we go on, I just want to... OP keeps saying potatoes, plural. I imagine one a day, but stay with me, friends. I also imagine that OP has like a plate next to their computer. You know, a little 90s-ass looking desktop computer, right? There it is. And then next to them is like a plate. And then just like a perfect pyramid of potatoes. And they just take one and consume it. And then just take another, and this continues until the plate is empty. As I explained my side, I could tell HR was getting really annoyed. I don't think she believed that this is all there was to it. She pressed me for more information. "Are you sure you didn't do anything to make her believe you were being inappropriate? Are you sure you weren't harassing her, even unintentionally?" I told her I never even talked to her unless it was about work, or if she approached me first. HR thanked me for coming and told me she'd get back to me. I think she met with Karen after that. Later in the day, we had a meeting with the 3 of us. Karen says that I lied about not doing anything to make her uncomfortable. That after the first time she came to me asking me to eat potatoes differently, I dismissed it as a joke, which, to be fair, I did because, deadass? Question marks? I mean, yeah, if somebody came up to me and they were like, "Eat potatoes differently." How? What does that mean? Which I acknowledged, because who wouldn't take it as a joke? Fair. Then she claimed that after each time she asked me to tone it down, I escalated by choosing increasingly sexily potatoes. It's not just that they're sexy potatoes, it's that they increase with each one. What the fuck? To eat in front of her. By which point, I'm pretty sure HR was trying hard not to roll her eyes. I responded by telling Karen that I literally gave zero thought about her when I bought my potatoes and selected them based on ease of cooking / eating. She accused me of making eye contact with her while I was eating, which I think I did every time she watched me eat, because it's really uncomfortable having someone watch me eat. A fair point. Which I explained. and I told her I had repeatedly asked her to stop watching me eat, and then she pointed out that no one else eats potatoes this way, and the only reason I would do so is to try to be provocative. Of all the things in an office environment that you could use to be provocative, I don't think potatoes is one of them. What the fuck? Oh my god. Hey you. Yeah, you listening to this. You like to read things, don't you? Of course you do. You listen to this channel, which is all about reading. Well, it's actually about listening to things, but you know what I mean. If you want to read things, as in any kind of book, all the books, at the same time, not at the same time. That would be weird. You can do that by going to this wonderful sponsor. Who is this wonderful sponsor who has all of the books you could ever want and more? Well, it's bookshop.org. Yes, indeed. They sell every kind of book you could want. They have all of them. I don't have a specific example, but bookshop.org is a fantastic resource to get all of the kind of books that you are looking for, and you don't have to deal with Amazon, which is a plus. Bookshop.org connects independent booksellers from all over the world. It allows you to buy from people who actually would benefit, rather than some stupid faceless corporation that likes to build rocket ships that kind of look like dicks. You know the one. Also, every purchase from bookshop.org helps support independent bookstores. That's right. Every time you buy something you want and don't have to give your money to some dingbat on the internet, you know the one, you get to help out independent bookstores. You are helping people while getting what you want. It's hard to say no to that. And if you really want to do that, find out some weird stuff that your favorite space uncle might be reading right now, which is a nice way of saying, yes, I am. You can do that by going to my affiliate link, which is bookshop.org/shop/Moonhorse. Everything on that list are books that I've read or will be reading, and might be coming up in some stuff that maybe you ought to know about. Maybe you ought to check those out. Either way, check it out. Bookshop.org/shop/Moonhorse. Go there. Find something to read, why don't you? Make your life better. Which I swear to God, HR almost laughed at her. I showed her a video of Japanese people eating potatoes with your hands and biting into them. HR woman knows me and knows I'm not the type to harass someone or deliberately make a hostile work environment. And in the end, she just said something like, sorry about the misunderstanding, perhaps it really would be best to look another way while your coworker is eating. Basically trying to politely tell Karen to get her head out of her ass. Then Karen tried to turn it around by claiming I was making a hostile work environment by telling our other coworkers bad things about her. But literally all I had done was ask the others if they were uncomfortable with the way I eat, and explaining why I had asked them. She tried yet another angle, claiming that the way I ate them, with my hands, was a COVID risk, and that I was putting the safety of the office in jeopardy by eating this way. HR then said that if she was so concerned, she was welcome to work from home, as it is currently company policy. I work in hardware, so it's harder for me to work from home. But Karen works in support. It'd be really easy for her to work from home. Why aren't you working from home if that's an option? Eventually, Karen had to concede that she had nothing left, so we were all dismissed. Later, I talked to my coworker who had stopped bringing curry because of Karen, let's call him Surya, about the problems I had with her. He had been unable to eat his regular Indian lunches in the office because of her. We were both extremely annoyed, and honestly, I just felt extremely uncomfortable being in an office where she was constantly judging Asian people's food. Also fair. So I decided to file a report with HR, as suggested by many of you. I pointed out how she was harassing Asian people for their food choices, and many of her comments towards me were bordering on sexual harassment. Surya agreed to bring curry for lunch today, and in solidarity, I brought some too, along with my potatoes. I love that the potatoes just keep coming back. Karen didn't comment at all, but she did give us dirty looks and made a disgusted face a few times. I actually got called into a meeting this afternoon with my boss, who is also one of the founders of the company. He confessed that he didn't like Karen either, and that she had multiple complaints about her within the first month of her being hired. She's been here just under 2. Damn, dude. And that he hired her as a favor to his wife, because She is his wife's cousin and had lost her job due to COVID. I wonder why they chose to let her go. He apologized to me on her behalf and assured me that he would talk to her. I decided to keep my harassment claim with HR and have another meeting tomorrow. We'll see how this goes. Thank you all for your tips and suggestions. I'll keep eating sexy potatoes for the foreseeable future. So something I hadn't mentioned in the original post is that I'm a gay woman, which is known in the office. However, I didn't mention this because it wasn't relevant until now. Yeah, I think the most relevant part was the sexy potatoes, which is still a phrase that I can't believe I've said multiple times. Karen lost it the other day when Surya brought a lovely tikka masala to share. He'd done this before the pandemic, and the kitchen is separate from the rest of the office, so you can't actually smell anything microwaved unless you're in the kitchen. She said it was really rude of him to keep bringing curries to the office, and that no one confronted him because they were all trying to be polite. Most people were enjoying the food he brought. Sounds wonderful. He said in his home country, really well-spiced curries were extremely common. People bring them, microwave them in the office all the time, and it's among some of the most popular takeout food. He had no reason to believe it wouldn't be the same here. Karen snapped back that we weren't in India, but Surya just said he's from London. I just imagine that conversation. It's just like, it's really popular. Yeah, well, we're not in India. I'm from London. Karen didn't really have a response to that. Oh, I wonder why. Karen confronted me in the parking lot after my HR complaint. Oh, that's not creepy. Claiming I was trying to spite her with the hard-boiled eggs I'd eaten at lunch, even though I'm definitely not the one who eats them in the office. I guess eggs are now too sexy, too. What the fuck is going on in this office? Oh my god. What the fuck is going on in this office? Like, everything just keeps getting weirder. First, it's sexy potatoes, and then curry bad, and now eggs are too sexy? I have no idea what the fuck is going on. She said my harassment complaint was discriminating against her for being Christian, and I was making her deliberately uncomfortable by throwing my sexuality in her face. But she knew she couldn't say that because she'd be called homophobic. Bitch, she's eating potatoes, leave her alone. Are you fucking serious? Oh my god. I honestly had no idea she was uncomfortable with gay people, and to be honest, that's not my problem. But she said that my putting a pride sticker on my laptop a few days after she started working here was the start of my escalation. Ah yes, the true harassment. Stickers on laptops. Oh my gosh. I'm fucking crying. According to her, my behavior was retaliatory to her having Bible verses on her desk. Then here's the kicker. Apparently, I was using my girlfriend, my relatively high-pitched voice, and my eating to get men in the office to lust after me, implying that Japanese/Asian women try way too hard to be sexually appealing. What the fuck? Oh man. Don't you guys know about the most popular categories on any porn website? Japanese women eating potatoes. Oh my god, I'm fucking crying. This is so weird. This is the weirdest shit. Okay. I would have gone off on her for being homophobic and racist with stereotypes I honestly had never heard of before. That makes two of us. But I was tired and told her if my existence was bothering her, that's not my problem, and she should just work from home. I also subtly mentioned that maybe this is why she was laid off from her last job. Oh, shots fired. Well, she filed another harassment claim, saying I was targeting her for religious discrimination. Like, goddamn, I just want to eat my perfectly innocent food in peace. And somehow it turned into a whole religious and racial war. All this over potatoes! I told HR what happened, and then Karen claimed I was trying to paint her in a bad light. My boss later talked to me privately and apologized. I think Karen is now working remotely, thank God, since I haven't seen her in at least a week. If she ever brings up anything about my innocuous eating, my sexual orientation, or my race again, I'll definitely file another complaint with HR, but for now, I think I'm content with eating sexy potatoes and eggs in peace. Oh my god. Okay, give me... I still can't get over the sexy potatoes. It fucking broke me, guys. What the fuck? This is it. This is, like, if we ever needed an example of just, like, not just someone being, like, a bigot or, like, a racist or, like, a homophobe, but, like, the dumbest example of those things, there it is. Because it started with fucking potatoes. I can't. Oh my god. I can't. That was amazing. Okay, OP, I actually have some advice for the actual OP, for the person who actually wrote this. I know that the comment section, and this is probably an older one, but I know that the comment section probably told you, do things properly. But here's my advice. If you can't get HR to work with you, if you can't get the boss or whatever to work with you, this is this is my advice. Whenever she's not at her desk and she leaves, find some way to subtly but intentionally put a single potato somewhere in her desk. Don't make it obvious. Just put it somewhere. But make sure that there's no way anyone can prove it was you. And every time she finds one and complains about it, add another potato to the count.
New donation from Gant_chart5. My advice to Karen, go outside. Touch grass.
Fantastic advice, too. But yes, every time she complains about the potato, add another one. So you put one in, like, the bottom drawer of her desk, right? And she finds it, and she's like, who put this in here? I know it was you! But she can't prove it, because no one will say anything, and there's no way to prove it. And the next time, there's two of them. And as it gets worse, continue adding in more and more. Putting them in different creative places. Not three in the exact same place. Maybe one in each drawer. Maybe one under the chair. Maybe one behind the monitor of her computer. Taped to it, so the only way she'll find it is when she decides to move the monitor, and then boom, out falls a potato. Continue this pattern repeatedly until it starts to get really fucking weird. The weirdest it could possibly be. Then, find your tech-savvy friend, figure out which car is her, get that tech-savvy friend to clone the radio ID frequency of the remote, unlock the car, don't move the car, put potatoes in the car. Say nothing. Don't let on that you did this. Continue this until it gets fucking absurd. More and more potatoes everywhere. And then, when she's complained repeatedly, but nobody can fucking prove it, one day, quietly, in the dead of night, show up at her house, leave a single potato on the doorstep. We call this potato terrorism. Continue with potato terrorism until Karen is resolved. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just potatoes everywhere. Make sure they're sexy potatoes, though. Don't just make them phallic shaped. Put a little bikini on them. put them in little potato lingerie. What the hell? Add some boiled eggs. All the sexy foods. What's the matter, guys? Are potatoes not an aphrodisiac? Sexy potatoes, I swear to God. I fucking died. I am dead. This is it. That killed me. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and thanks to the OP for sharing this with the internet in general. And I'm sorry you had to put up with an actual Karen like that. That's unbelievable. But also, the weirdest possible interaction with a Karen I've ever seen. That is just fascinating. I don't have words for sexy potatoes. My God. There it is. Thanks for being a part of this, everybody. If you enjoyed this, do the YouTube thing, or don't. I don't fucking care. YouTube sucks. Check us out on Anchor, which is way cooler than YouTube anyway. And you can see these episodes early. Yep. If you would like to send in something weird, send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. I'll check it out there. If you would like to support this channel, we have links to my Ko-Fi and a merch store and all these things that keep the channel going. And if you'd like to send me something weird just in the mail, that's also an option. We make videos about that. I've gotten a lot of weird things in the mail, but I like it. And every weekend, specifically on Monday nights, we record these live, so you can show up and listen to me read about sexy potatoes live, which is a thing that several people right here are doing. Chat, what the hell are we doing with our lives? Okay. Thank you all for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.